Good day everyone, this is Teacher William.
This is Teacher LAICA.
This is Teacher HAZEL. This is Teacher AIRA. This is Teacher Daphnie.
And welcome to the study of linguistics.
Good day to each and everyone. I am your teacher LAICA and I am from Study of 6. So here is a question from topic 1. Which assessment method involves students demonstrating their knowledge and skills through active creation or performance? A. Multiple choice test. B. Performance-based assessment. C. True or false quizzes. D. Fill-in-the-blank worksheets. So what will be your answer? So if your answer is B, then you are correct. But before we will discuss why is it that the answer is B, we will start from why is it the answer is not A, C, and D. So here's why. Multiple choice tests are a traditional assessment method. That is why the answer is not A. They measure the student's ability to recognize the correct answer among a set of options, which mostly assesses, recall, and recognize the application of demonstration of knowledge in a real-world or active context. On the other hand, performance-based assessment requires students to create, produce, or perform something that shows what they've learned, like writing an essay, conducting a science experiment, giving a speech, or solving a real-world problem. It's all about active management and application of skills, which is why it's not the right choice for the question. Now we will go to C, which is the true or false quizzes. So true or false quizzes are a type of selected responses assessments where students simply choose whether a statement is true or false. These are useful for quickly assessing basic recall or understanding that they don't require students to demonstrate skills or apply knowledge in a real words or creative way. On the other hand, performance-based assessment asks students to actually do something like give a presentation, build a project, conduct an experiment, or write a story. These tasks show how well students can apply what they've learned, which is why it's the method that involves active creation or performance. Now, why is it not the, which is the fill-in-the-blank worksheets? The fill-in-the-blank worksheets requires students to recall specific information and provide short answers, which is a more passive form assessment. It mainly tests memorization and recall, not how well students can apply their knowledge in real-world or creative ways. On the other hand, performance-based assessments ask students to create, perform, or demonstrate what they've learned, like giving a presentation, conducting a sincere experiment, or writing a story. This task assesses critical thinking, problem solving, and practical application, which is why they fall under active demonstration. So, while fill-in-the-blank tasks show that students know, performance-based tasks show what students can do with they know. So that is why that the C is not the correct answer. The correct answer is B, which is performance-based assessment. This method involves students actively demonstrating their knowledge and skills through creation, presentation, or performance, rather than just selecting answers. So I hope you understand why in the question on the topic 1 the answer is B. So help me welcome or another discussion or another teacher, which is Teacher William, to ask you more further questions. So that will be all.
A proponent of social learning theory is Ventura. He believes that A. Behavior can influence both the environment and the person. Letter B. Learning stays with the individuals until needed. And letter C. Reinforcement influences the cognitive processes. And letter D. People learn from one another, such as by modeling. So in this question, let's identify what is our answer. Going back to the question, it talks about the theory of Bandura. So technically speaking, option A talks about the behavior can influence by both by environment and the person. It's the connection between our behavior and to the society or to the environment. This statement is particularly or partially true that the behavior does not influence both the environment and the person. However, it does not fully encompass the Bandura's social learning theory, which it gives us the idea or the emphasis that observational learning and modeling as the key of mechanism. It's too narrow to us to focus what is the social theory of Bandura. On the other hand, option B, it talks about the learning stays with the individuals until needed. So it seems that this is incorrect. While it is simply because some learning might be latent in the Bandura's theory, does not posit to that all learning remains in the dormant until needed. Talks about the learning theory in learning actively acquired and utilized through observations and modeling. So option B is not the correct answer. While option C talks about the reinforcement of influences, cognitive processes that may reinforce the place of a role, but not Bandura's theory. It's not just solely about the reinforcement, but it's actually by the Bandura's theory, which is the observational learning and modeling are the central focus of even in the absences of the direct reinforcement. This option is too limited and it's obviously is not the correct answer. So our correct answer is option D. So you got it right. People learn from another such as by modeling. Learning, Bandura's theory talks about the modeling by learning by modeling. The Bandura's social learning theory centers are the observational theory, or that the people learn by the observing through the modeling. The others models imitating their behavior in adjusting their actions towards in the model in actual settings. So based on the observed, those are the consequences that is accurately reflects to the core principles of the theory. So most of definitely our answer is letter D, on which the Bandura's theory talks about the modeling process on how which we acquire knowledge through model.
So a pleasant day, my students. I am teacher Hazel, and for my Gurong Pinoy topic 3 question, I chose question number 2. So this question asks, which factor can most effectively prevent mismanagement in a classroom? And the correct answer for this is letter D, which is routines. So why is letter D the correct answer for this question? So routines provide structure and predictability in a classroom. When students know what to expect and what is expected of them, transitions are smoother, time is used more effectively, and behavioral problems are minimized inside the classroom. Classroom routines, such as entering the room, turning in homework, group work procedures, or packing up at the end of the day, help manage the class efficiently. To further justify the answer, which is letter D, the correct answer, routines reduce confusion and downtime. Students feel more secure and are more likely to stay on task. Teachers spend less time giving directions and more time with teaching. Routines help in maintaining consistency, which is crucial for managing misbehavior inside a classroom. So this also aligns with the image on the PowerPoint slide, which shows a checklist titled Back to School Routines and Procedures, which reinforces the idea that routines are essential for overall classroom management. I am also going to give a few justifications as to why the rest of the choices are incorrect. Starting off with letter A, we have resource materials. While having good materials is important for instruction, they don't directly prevent mismanagement inside a classroom. A classroom can still be chaotic even with the best resources if students do not follow routines or behavioral expectations. Letter B, we have the curriculum. A well-designed curriculum ensures the learning objectives are met, but it does not manage how students behave or transition between tasks. Mismanagement occurs due to the lack of structure rather than content issues. And lastly, we have letter C, which is process. So process is vague in this context. It may refer to methods of instruction or the procedures, but without established routines, processes are hard to enforce within the classroom. It lacks the clarity and the daily impact that routines offer in preventing misbehavior and efficiency. So to conclude, while all the other factors contribute to a successful classroom environment, routines directly and consistently influence classroom management and order, making letter D, which is routines, the best answer for this question. That will be all, and thank you.
Each teaching method emphasizes the teacher's role in providing clear, structured instructions and demonstrations to facilitate student learning. What is the answer? Inquiry-based learning, direct instruction, project-based learning, collaborative learning. So the answer will be the letter B, direct instruction. As you observe, the three choices are under student-centered, and the only teacher-centered is the letter B, which is the direct instruction, because the question said teacher's role, so the answer is letter B.
Good day, students. I am Teacher Daph, and for Module 5, I will be the one who will give to you the question. So here is the question. Which of the following is the contemporary concept of instruction that most acceptable in modern teaching? So here are the choices. Letter A, facilitating learning. Letter B, brainstorming. Letter C, IDOC training. And letter D, demonstrating. So the correct answer is letter A, which is facilitating learning. So why letter A? Letter A is the best because modern teaching prioritizes student-centered learning, and facilitating learning emphasizes guiding students construct their own knowledge, unlike other options which are more teacher-centered. So letter A, facilitating learning, is best because it emphasizes guiding the students on their own discovery and understanding rather than simply lecturing. Like
in the training or showing or demonstrating. On the other hand, brainstorming is like just a tool within facilitating learning, not over overarching concept. So that would be all for Module 5. I hope you learned something from this.